do you still get, the same level of excitement or maybe nervousness or maybe both going into year 10 as year 1 when you're getting ready for the first one?
I feel both. I feel excited and nervous. And, one of the things I've heard a lot of coaches say is over the years is if you're not nervous and excited, maybe it's time to retire. So I'm glad to know that I'm not ready to retire. I can't wait for tomorrow. This is what it's about. And then, you finish opening night and you go, okay, we got 81 more, and you kind of settle in. But first one is always special.
Draymond's still questionable?
No, Draymond's out. He practiced today. We did some controlled scrimmaging, and he's doing really well. But we don't feel like it would be wise to throw him out there with so little scrimmage time on the floor. So he'll be out, and then we'll reassess, as the days go.
Follow up, but you might not want to share then who. Do you know what your starting lineup is going to be?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, could try them.
Steve,
hi, Janie.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you. With Chris Paul here and Durant coming back, and I know it's been a little while since Kevin's been here, but to play in front of the old fans at Chase, that's kind of been a long time coming. Do you imagine that people will be hyped up, and they still remember pretty well what he brought to this franchise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is so bizarre that here we are 5 years later, and Kevin hasn't played in front of our fans. I think he's only played here once. That was during the pandemic season. So it's very comfortable for all of us, when we see Kevin. And this will be the 10th or 12th time we've seen him in a different uniform, and by this time, we say our hellos and it's great, but for the fans it'll be different, and I anticipate our fans giving Kevin the love that he deserves. I mean, two championships, and trying to help us win a third, and literally giving his body to the cause, and he was incredible here, and will go down, as one of the great players in franchise history. And the fact that it lasted 3 years shouldn't make any difference. I think our fans are so wise in terms of their knowledge of the game. They recognize everything Kevin did for this franchise. So I would expect nothing less than a huge ovation.
Kevin was looking forward. We talked to him yesterday, looking forward to coming back and playing before the fans. Obviously, it turned out great for him and you guys, but when you reflect on it, are you like, wow, that was really a special stretch of our time here in Golden State?
Yeah, it was, Kevin's arrival turned us into one of the most talented teams ever. And he was such a perfect fit next to our guys. Kevin is kind of a perfect fit next to anybody, but he just fit beautifully next to our group. And we became an incredibly dominant team with him here. And, I still maintain the level of play in the 2017 finals. I've never seen anything like it. And Kevin obviously was MVP, but Cleveland was loaded with talent. So difficult to get stops in that series because both teams were, so talented and potent. And I always remember Game 5. Kevin just down the stretch, knocking down shot after shot, keeping Cleveland at bay. And the one title we won here in the Bay, out of the 4, the others were all on the road. So I think that 17. I get my years mixed up. I'm old now, so 17. But that was to me, that's a team's 16-1 in the playoffs. I think one of the great teams of all time, and just how thrilling for all of us here, coaches, players, fans, everybody here in the Bay to just be part of that, and so I'll forever be grateful for Kevin's contributions, and what he meant to us.
Steve, I remember going back to the storyline in those early days with Durant. Well, Steph's taking a back seat. How's he going to be?
Yeah,
Is he
yeah.
going to be? But he grew a lot, and they the way they pushed each other. What did that time do for Steph's growth, being alongside Kevin?
I just think that it took a couple of months for those two guys to really just play. You know, they were so intent. Both guys are such unselfish players. They were both intent on making the other guy better. And I remember we had a game in Cleveland on Christmas, and we lost. Kevin was having a big game, and Steph was kind of deferring. And then I think right after that game, I think they really started to connect, and they realized, just be yourself. If you're hot, keep shooting. The other guy's not going to mind. In fact, the other guy's going to be happy. At the end of that year was pretty remarkable. If you look at the stats, I think Steph, Klay, and Kevin all averaged 18 field goal attempts per game, like almost identically. It was really a sign of their unselfishness, but also a sign of how easy and smooth the fit was once they just let loose and started playing.
Steve, you guys always obviously have a tough opening matchup. Just want to know your thoughts about the day one barometer against the Phoenix Suns.
Well, I have a clear vision of our team this year, and it will not be on display tomorrow night because we're not where we need to be yet. But I think the clarity that we have as a coaching staff, organizationally, like we can see where this team is going. So that's a great sign. You get, bumps in the road. Hopefully we don't have too many of them, but one of them came with Draymond's injury right before camp. So we'll have to ease in a little bit. We've put in a ton of stuff early on, both ends of the floor. We got to whittle that down. Our players have to get comfortable. So it's a long way of saying we're going to be way better in a month or two. But that doesn't mean we can't get off to a good start, play a great game tomorrow, play well over the next couple weeks as we're fitting Draymond back in.
Steve, I know you said that Trayce and Brandin are advanced in terms of how they've come into the league, but do you still envision them getting their fair share of reps down in Santa Cruz this season?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely an option. Santa Cruz is such a part of our organization. The synergy, I think we've learned a lot over the years that if a player's not in the rotation here, playing there for an extended period is really valuable. That's where you truly see the improvement. So I think that is always going to be a viable option. And I could see both guys also being in the rotation at some point because they're that good. So it's a great problem to have. But for those guys, part of being a rookie is understanding that this is a weird league. You can go from playing in the G League and being away from the team to being in the starting lineup. And everybody thinks it's crazy except for all the people who are in the NBA and they understand how this stuff works. So both guys have to be ready for anything.
Other than maybe lack of Draymond and then the turnovers and fouling issues, what are the differences between your vision for the team, what you see, and what you are not seeing now?
Well, I think Draymond's return will clarify the rotation somewhat. We'll get a look at some different lineups with him out there. I think a month from now, I think our players will be in a much better rhythm. I didn't think we had a particularly good shooting rhythm so far in camp, so I know that will improve. But defending without fouling, taking better care of the ball, being more efficient in transition. Rebounding. We were a really good rebounding team in the preseason. Hopefully that continues. But we're going to be checking back on all of these key points here over the next few weeks and hopefully becoming more consistent with them. And then with Draymond's return, getting a little better look at, our healthy rotation.
Draymond said yesterday that, well, basically he made a plea for Loon to be more vocal, saying that he knows what he's doing, he knows what he's seeing, he just needs to voice it more often. What do you think of that, of Draymond doing that?
Loon's pretty quiet. You know, he's a very quiet guy, so he's never going to be Draymond, but he's always going to be Loon, and thank God for that. You know, Loon is just our rock, and yes, he can try to, you know, communicate more and louder, but you know, you got to be who you are too.
You sound kind of pessimistic about the possibility of Loon becoming.
No, but Loon didn't say one word for 2 years when he got here. Honestly, never heard him talk, and then. You know, he became one of our best communicators over the years defensively. So you do hear him calling out coverages. You just don't hear him giving a lot of locker room speeches. And it's one of the reasons, you know, his teammates respect him so much. When he does speak, he's got something wise to say, but he's out there battling and communicating on the floor all the time.
Coach, when you look at just Chris, and obviously you coached against him for so many years, have you learned anything new about him? And if so, what have you learned from him playing for you now that maybe you didn't know before he got there?
I've known for years he's one of the smartest, toughest competitors in the league. So everything that I've seen backs that up. Nothing really surprises me. Mostly I'm just really thrilled to be collaborating with him because he's got a lot of knowledge. I mean, all of his time in the league, as good as he's been, what he has experienced in the playoffs, FIBA. So I just enjoy talking shop with Chris, and a lot of little details in some of the actions that he's run consistently over the years. I'm learning from him. He's telling me what he's looking at and what the, you know, what he's trying to do with the defense and manipulate the defense a little bit. And it's fun to just hear him express that because I learned from him.
Another thing I had was when you look at Phoenix now with obviously Bradley and the new additions they made, what do you see when you look at them?
Extremely talented. Frank's always been an excellent coach, so, you know, I expect them to be tight defensively, connected, and we know Kevin better than anybody. I mean, I've said it, he's the most skilled offensive player ever, you know, at that size with that kind of shooting ability and ability to get his own shot. Never been anybody quite like Kevin. So you have to win the game in the margins, you know, because you know Devin and Brad and Kevin are all going to get their points and create their own shots, but you can't give up the back cut, can't give up the box out, can't send them to the line 28 times, you know. So it's you got to win the game in the margins.
We had Draymond in here yesterday, and he was saying that he wanted to publicly give a shout out, saying that you're ready to be more vocal on the floor. He said, you know, he knows what he's doing, he knows everything. That was Draymond's word. He knows everything. He said, we just need him to be more vocal. What do you think of that, and do you see that even, you know, being something that you want to do or willing to do?
For sure. That's something that's my next step, being an even better defender, even a better player, just being more vocal, you know, showing more leadership out there on the court. Something I've been preparing for, and I think I'm ready to take that step. I think I've been doing a decent job so far throughout the preseason, but I can still get it to another level, and I look forward to doing that.
How do you feel about, I mean, you've been here through a lot of different teams, a lot of different cycles. What's your vibe about this team?
So far, it's been great. You know, it's been one of our harder training camps. Everybody's been locked in. We've been really practicing on the details of winning the margins, all the small things, you know, that they might want to slide in the past. They're calling us out on it, holding us accountable. So practice has been intense. It's been a lot of fun. And I think this group is super competitive. You know, we still got to grow together, got to go through the fire together. But I think we're off to a good start. Camp was great. I think we learned a lot about each other. And I think the group is feeling good about each other.
Speaking of leadership, that's what Chris Paul's identity has been, being a leader. But you guys have established leaders here already. Mm-hmm. Steph, Draymond. How have you seen that dynamic work with Chris being naturally a leader, but trying to work his way in with guys who are already leaders on the team?
He doesn't fit in perfect. He hasn't tried to force it or try to be that I'm the leader now type of guy. He's just been really trying to fit in, learn the culture, and but he has so much knowledge. He instantly just when he talks, everybody listens. We all have respect for him and what he has done in his league is one of the best ever. People are looking for him for his voice and his leadership, even though he's probably not even expecting it. But we need his voice for us to be good this year, and I think he's been doing a good job of that. He's been doing a good job his whole career of being a good leader. So the dynamic has been really great. It's been really cool to see. Our film sessions are real high level when you got Chris and Dre and Steph breaking down things. So it's just something you can learn every day.
This is not to say that you guys don't feel a sense of urgency every year, but do you feel like there's a different sense of urgency this training camp than in previous ones?
I would say yes. Last year after coming off a championship, you kind of just it's urgency, but it's still like we still celebrating a little bit. This year, we got put out in the second round, fell short of our goal. We got new guys in. Everybody's hungry. And so, yeah, it's a different type of urgency. You can tell just from the players and from the coaching staff. Like I said, the way we run the drills, I feel like this might have been one of the most coaching and detailed training camps that we done had. So it's been a lot of fun, and I think there's a lot of urgency, and I think we're ready to go out there and start this journey.
Hi, Kevon.
Hello.
Can you imagine what it'll be like for the fans who haven't seen Kevin play? You guys have seen him in another uniform, but a chance to sort of honor him at last for what he did for this franchise and helping you guys in all those title runs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting. It's always been different seeing somebody in a different uniform, but just to know what he did in our jersey, he did for our team in this city and for the Bay Area. He has some legendary years here. He put his body on the line, risked it all out there and trying to playing through injury and different things like that. So, he's always going to have the respect of our organization, of our team, and I think the Bay Area. So it's going to be exciting to get to see him, get to play against him. He's one of the best ever. So we get to, go get some on the other side, and it's going to be, bring out the best out of us and out of him. So I'm looking forward to it.
Kevon, do you guys think as a team the best way to honor Kevin's by sending him back to Phoenix with an L?
For sure. He wouldn't want it no other way. He's competitive. We all love hooping. We all want to beat each other. So it's going to be, nice to see him come out, hear some cheers. But once the game starts, it's going to be trash talking just like it always was.